Hey everybody, you're watching Cadwell Hunter. I got a fresh box of $1,000 of Canadian toonies, $2 coins. But as I'm about to open this up, there is a new fake toonie out there. Are we going to find one in this box? We're hoping it's not going to be a full box of fake toonies. That would be a disaster. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is James and you're watching my channel, Cadwell Hunter. Thank you so much for doing that. I love hunting Canadian $2 coins, or toonies as they're called. There are lots of errors and varieties we can look for, colorized and low mintage commemoratives, all sorts of cool stuff that we can find. But if you've been watching my channel or watching the news even, you'll know that here in Canada we've got a terrible problem with fake toonies. There are millions of them out there. And if you're a seasoned collector like I am, they're pretty easy to spot, but for the most part, most people can't distinguish them. Well, there is a brand new fake toonie that is out there that might be even harder to detect in some ways. Some are calling it an updated cameltoe, perhaps without the cameltoe. And it's a little bit odd, I think, though, in that it has the look of a proof. And one of my viewers, Cody, contacted me with a picture and asked if he'd found a silver toonie because it has that look about it. Here is the picture he sent me, and this looks very familiar. My friend Brent Mackey let me know that he'd heard about a brand new fake toonie from Mike Marshall, who is an expert in Canadian counterfeit coins. These are obviously making the rounds, and check this out. It has a frosted appearance. It looks like a proof, but it is not a proof. What's really scary is that this fake coin here actually mimics the design of the updated toonies with the enhanced security features. The lines, the infused maple leaf, that laser etching. So maybe before we dive into this box of toonies, we'll just have a look at how this newly discovered fake toonie compares to the cameltoe toonies, the fakes that are everywhere right now, and more modern real toonies. On the left of the screen, I've got the cameltoe toonies, and you can see the split paw that gives it the name cameltoe toonie on that. It is the dead giveaway. You know, and the details are a little off, but the details are close enough to fool a lot of people. But the Queen's portrait is a little bit off. The numbers and the letters aren't quite right, but that dead giveaway is that cameltoe. Now, the cameltoe toonies were only made on the old generation of toonies that lacked a lot of the security features that were introduced in 2012. The one in the middle is a real toonie. This is from 2020. Gives you a good idea. It is essentially the same as the 2018 would be. And you can see the new security features that were added on here. At the very top, these lines that are vertical, within that is a laser etched maple leaf. So if you just tilt the coin a little bit, you'll see that maple leaf. It's hard to see on this particular picture, but it's there and it would be hard to counterfeit. Below that are the two maple leaves in the circles. They're also using advanced techniques to create that are harder to replicate. So this is what the modern toonies look like. What is really alarming about this new toonie is that it mimics some of these advanced security features. Now, what is odd, of course, is that they chose to give it a very proof finish, and it has a very mirror-like finish on the surfaces, but they managed to replicate pretty faithfully some of these security features, or at least close enough that people will be fooled by these newer ones. If you look closely, the maple leaves at the bottom are a little bit chunkier and bigger than they are on the real toonie, but it's enough that any casual observer would think that it looks like a modern toonie. And you'll note that the cameltoe isn't really apparent in this one. So Mike Marshall refers to this as a repaired cameltoe. So I don't know if we know that these are made by the same people who made the cameltoe toonies, but the design is perhaps a little bit closer to the actual toonie on this. One thing that is also odd about this Toonie is that it has a fully reeded edge. So that's different than the actual Toonie that has these serrations, so that's a smooth edge and then a serrated edge and then a smooth edge. This is serrated all the way around, which is uncharacteristic of a Toonie. So that might be the giveaway on this particular one. My thought, of course, is that if they can make this Toonie in this proof finish, they can probably do it in that more matte finish like the cameltoe. If they can combine all of these elements together, then they could fool folks with even the most modern Toonies with all of the current security features. Crazy. So we want to find some fun stuff in here. I'm pretty curious to see one of these in hand, but I don't want a whole box of them. So we'll find out soon enough if they've made their way to my area in southwestern Ontario. The only way to find out for sure is to dig into these rolls and see what is inside them, if we've got anything nefarious or if we've just got some cool stuff. Well, we're going to have a find in roll number 2, and you can't miss that dark edge. We're going to have a black ringed Toonie, and it is very striking. 2022, this is a solemn tribute to Queen Elizabeth. Beautiful coin. Love finding these ones here. Here's another neat one to find. This is the 400th anniversary of the city of Quebec, and that's a really interesting, cool design. Don't see these all that often. Well, roll number 2 is going to give us our first fake Toonie, and it's a 2004. This is going to be a cameltoe Toonie. I'll throw this one under the scope just to get a close look at it here. And this is what we're referring to, this kind of deformed front paw of the bear. That's just not how it's supposed to look. I'll try to grab another one that might look pretty decent for us to compare against. Here's what that paw should look like. It does have a little bit of a line here, but not anywhere close to what you see on the cameltoe. And that's not the only fake in this roll. Here's another one. This is a 2007. It just doesn't have the right look, and certainly that paw is the dead giveaway. 2 fakes. We're only 2 rolls in. I just pulled out a real 2007. I'm going to put them up on the screen together so we can kind of get a little bit of a comparison. There are subtle differences. This is the real one at the top. This is the fake one at the bottom. One thing is that the finish is a little bit different. It's actually a little bit more textured on the fake one. It's a little smoother on the real one. But look at the numbers. The date is quite a bit taller than it is on the fake. The shape of the 2 is different. It's more rounded here. This one just sort of comes to quite a long straight line. The zeros are more rounded and squat. And then look at the 7. It's got a little bit of a curve to it. It's just not the same. That's just the date. There are other giveaways too. It's a little harder to tell, but there is Queen Elizabeth on the real coin. And here is the fake one. It's just not quite the same. It lacks some of the finer detail. So, and you'll find differences in all of the writing. You'll find even differences in the way the logo looks, but the date is definitely a giveaway if you weren't even looking for that cameltoe. There's the real one, and then there's that cameltoe. Roll number 4, there's the 2011 Boreal Forest in pretty nice condition. Might hold on to that one. Here is a modern Toonie, really bright and shiny. I'm suspecting this is going to be, the 2024 with King Charles III on it in beautiful condition. Still finding these ones in brand new shape. Roll 5, and that is the 3rd counterfeit. Flip it over and see what year this is purporting to be. This one also says 2007. But it ain't real. And of course, we're always scoping our 1996s, the first year of the Toonie, for several interesting varieties. One is a die chip at the mouth here that looks like a cigar. Another one, a die chip that makes it look like he's got a horn on his head. And another one that doesn't have this ice detail called the no ice. There's also a die clash you could find on the obverse. Now this is pretty damaged, but you would see some of the detail of the polar bear on the other side in front of the Queen's face. So 4 different varieties to look for, and there are tons of 1996s you can probably scope because they made so many of them in this first year. Here's a 2017 Dance of the Spirits, and it pictures some water and mountains and the northern lights. And the colorized version of this coin, which I would love to find, those northern lights are glow in the dark. It would be a very, very cool coin to find. Very next coin, and look at this. We're going to have our fourth fake Toonie already. And you can see it has this look of like a brand new coin, really shiny. This one says 1996, but this one is going to have all sorts of details that don't look right. The Queen's portrait just looks off. That maple leaf's going to be weird. The numbers aren't the same. Again, another bad copy that most people won't even realize isn't real. And I didn't even notice it, but the one right behind it is exactly the same. This one has a different date on it, 2005, but it is also a fake. I hope it's not going to get much worse than that. I picked up a 2010 here, and there are a couple of varieties to look for. One is that the 2010 comes in two different edge serrations, 14 and 16. This one has 16. You want to look for the 14. The one I have behind it is a 2012, and it's got 14 serrations, so it's just a little bit shorter or not as wide. The other version is with respect to water lines. So this is the standard one. This is the 16 serration. You're looking for one that doesn't have all this detail in the water around these little bits of ice. So some cool varieties to look for in the 2010. Roll number 9, and that's fake number 6. And this one says 1996 on it. Very next coin, we're going to get a low mintage commemorative. It's got Charles on there. It is a 2024. Let's see what it is. This is the non-colorized Nunangat 2024. That is cool. I'm going to put it under the scope here so we can see the design, but it looks like it's been pretty well circulated already. It's got some interesting coloring. Yeah, you can see the design here with all sorts of sea creatures and some dirt on it, coloring in some of these low spots. I'll flip it over. We see the same, I think on the obverse, just some dirt in here. But yeah, that's the Nunangat. It's low mintage. This is minted at just 1 million, so I'll hold on to it for now. But of course, if I find some nicer ones, I might want to keep the nicer one than that. So we're at the halfway point, 10 rolls in, and we hadn't found any colorized coins until just now. We got our very first one. It's the 2021 Insulin. And look at that. We actually got 2 in a row. So that just doubled our color instantaneously, so that's pretty cool. We got 2. Those are minted at just 2 million each. They're from 2021 Insulin. We're in roll number 13. We're going to get another commemorative here. We can see that. So is it going to be colorized or non-colorized? And it is our third Insulin. So it's our third color in the box, and we've got 3 of the same one. I'll add it to the little stack there. I'd love to find more color. I'd love to find something a little bit different too. Same roll. It's not colorized, but it is a low mintage in nice condition. This is the 2020 Victory. It does come in a colorized version, but this is the lower mintage version of it, the non-color 2020 Victory. I'm in roll number 15. We've got an obverse facing us here. This is definitely the 2017 Dance of the Spirits, and you can see that this is in excellent condition. So the question is it going to be the colorized version? We would love to see that glow-in-the-dark one. I haven't flipped it over yet, so we're going to find out together. And it is not, but it is a beautiful version of that coin. I'm going to hold on to that one. It looks gorgeous. Roll number 19. I don't want to jinx it, but the back half of this box hasn't given us any more fakes. And we are going to get another one of these black ringed toonies from 2022, though. That's our second one of the box. Well, I certainly spoke a bit too soon, because in this roll, we are going to get another one. This is a 2006. So we have one from 96, 04, 05, 06, 07. The only one we don't have is the 2010, which is apparently a little harder to get. Not that I want to get them all in every box. I'd rather not get any at all, of course. But interestingly, we got one from almost every year that these are dated. I just emptied out roll number 20, and we're going to get our third black ringed toonie here. And that one looks pretty nice too. We'll put that on the pile here on the board. And one of the things I always look for on the edges is, could we ever find a silver toonie? And we didn't get a silver edge in this roll in any of them. I've never actually found one, but some people have found silver toonies. They were special mint sets, special mint issues that somehow made their way into circulation. So something I'm always looking for. And if you find a toonie that has the look of silver, look up the specifications in your Charlton catalog or look up the specifications on Coins in Canada or Numista and check out what it weighs, because a silver toonie is going to weigh more than a regular toonie. A regular toonie is going to weigh about 7.3, 7.4 grams. A silver toonie is going to weigh closer to 9 grams. So that's going to wrap up another $1,000 toonie hunt. We got 7 fake toonies, and that's more than I've had in over a year. So the problem doesn't seem to be getting any better. But it wasn't all bad. We got some good stuff too. We got 3 of those black ring toonies. Nice to see those. So striking. 3 colorized toonies. All of them were the 2021 Insulin. We did find the Nunangat non-colored 2024. This is the first time I found that one. I hadn't had it yet. So I'm going to be on the lookout for one that's a little nicer than this one. This one's got a little bit of dirt on it. I might run it under some water, see if I can get it looking better, but it's definitely circulated. And then we found a few other nicer ones too. A beautiful Dance of the Spirits, low mintage Victory from 2020, and a few other really nice ones I'm going to check against my collection. That Boreal Forest. This one here is a really nice 2005. And then over here, a 2007. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed another toonie hunt. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, Cat Roll Hunter, hit that button and subscribe. You won't regret it. If you've watched the video to this point, I think you'll enjoy my videos, so go ahead and do that. And give the video a like. That's a great way to help the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again next time. The sponsors of today's video are Lighthouse Canada and the Charlton Press. Lighthouse Canada is the leading supplier of high-quality numismatic supplies in Canada, and the Charlton Press is the leading publisher of coin and paper money catalogs and price guides for Canadian collectors. Go check out their online stores today and use the exclusive discount code CRH20 for 20% off all your purchases.